Taft's first store in Soho is a great example of Fifth Wall's network effects. Fifth Wall was actually able to introduce Taft into both their eventual landlord, Acadia Realty Trust, and creative agency, Bobby Red, that helped to bring the brand offline. Typically when a brand, especially a brand that is opening up their first location offline, starts to speak with a landlord, that leasing process can be anywhere from 3 to 6 months. However, when Taft and Acadia first spoke, they had a lease in under 48 hours, and the whole process took under 2 months. So when Fifth Wall invested in Taft, Corey had done a great job creating a community of customers online. I immediately said to him at the first board meeting, it's gonna be really important for us to take this experience and create an omni-channel customer branded experience that recreates what we've done with the Taft family via Instagram and Facebook, and do that in person. I think for Corey's customers, they wanna be able to come in here and speak to sales associates that are familiar with the product. They wanna be able to test and try the product on. They want to be able to meet Corey himself. So it's very exciting for the first time to have Taft be able to have a physical space where customers can come and truly be a part of the family that Corey has created.
Fifth Wall is a very forward-thinking venture capital firm. They're doing something that I don't see anywhere else. They're connecting cool, hip, young brands that have success online with forward-thinking real estate owners and developers that are interested in trying and taking risks and testing something new. And then connecting us with people that can help actually build a store across the country. We're in Utah, the store's in Soho. I essentially walked into a finished store thanks to Fifth Wall and Bobby Red. My wife and I started this business in a tiny apartment in Provo, Utah, with no idea what we were doing. And to be on the hottest street in Soho, to be in this space amongst all these other amazing brands that I admire and look up to since those early days is just incredible.
The first conversation with Taft came through the introduction. Dan and Kevin had vetted Taft as a company. That gave us great confidence that they've looked through and understood how that brand really thinks about real estate, how they think about the execution of their business. So with that qualification, they introduced us to Brig, the new president of Taft. After speaking in the store for an hour or so, Brig then left and went out on a walking tour of Soho with a real estate advisor and walked for several hours every street in Soho and came back and said, this is the place where we think we want to make our home. We engaged around a business deal and came together on terms, and we're at least, that whole process took maybe 4 to 6 weeks, and that's extraordinary because the typical process with a brand takes 4 to 6 months. They were ready, they were capitalized, they had the human and financial capital ready to do this. We had vetted them with the help of the Fifth Wall folks, and we were ready to go.
Acadia was able to introduce us to Faraday and Untuckit, 2 of our neighbors. And we were able to kind of come in here with an idea of what the traffic was like, what the organic walk-by traffic was like, how those stores have fared over the last couple of years. Being around like-minded brands and knowing that they've been successful was a really good sign for us to be able to come in here, bring our audience, harness the Prince Street natural traffic, and feel really good about what this can be.
We're seeing great success where we can aggregate a certain number of buildings in a submarket or a street, where they can cluster, where they can get together. They are able to attract a like-minded shopper, and really together they offer more critical mass and more success.
Bobby Red is a retail design and strategy company based here in New York. We work with digitally native brands like Allbirds and the Black Tux and Zola and Nottingham Cashmere and Shinola for a long time, and brands like Taft that are started online and eventually migrating to the physical world, opening retail stores. We were really excited to work with Taft because it's rare when you find a business that has built such a huge following online and doesn't have any physical space.
I think that traditional old school retail is obviously struggling. But I think that when you connect funds like Fifth Wall, real estate owners like Acadia, design firms like Bobby Red, with a brand that has organic, natural success and a big community behind it, retail is very much alive. I've been watching this window now for about a week, and if you tell people that retail is dying here on Prince Street, they would disagree.
It's important for these new retailers to think about their businesses as omnichannel. Customer acquisition costs have been historically low in Facebook and Instagram, but we're coming into a new period of time where the increase in competition from brands that are starting online is actually beginning to drive up costs. As a result, brands have to come offline and think about rent as customer acquisition costs.
And retail has always been a business that needs to evolve. If you don't evolve, if you don't change, if you don't understand your customers, you die. You become irrelevant.
The landscape is definitely changing. So the people that represent the old guard of retail are the ones that are saying it's dying, but the people that are forward thinking are really excited about the future of retail.